Hello! Welcome to a Lividian Publications unboxing. And not only is it an unboxing, it's an ARC unboxing, which I am very excited for. This is the advanced reader's copy of The Border by Robert McCammon, which I guess in and of itself isn't really advanced because the book did come out, 8 years ago through Subterranean Press. But Lividian Publications is doing the trade edition, trade paperback edition. And with that comes an ARC for the trade paperback. So last year was the self-described year of McCammon from Lividian Publications. And that year of McCammon is turned into 2 years of McCammon, and I am all for it. So last year, Lividian Publications published a ton of McCammon. They gave the small press trade paperback treatment, as I struggle with the tape, of almost all of the Matthew Corbett series, his historical fiction series, starting with Mr. Slaughter all the way up to King of Shadows. King of Shadows? Is that right? No, because Shadows is the new one. I mean, that was the newest title was Shadows. That did not get a trade paperback release, but it did get the limited edition release. It got the hardcover trade release. But everything up to that, which was Cardinal Black, got a trade release. And then this year, they announced, they being Lividian Publications, announced Gone South is getting its first limited edition, which I am all for. And then paperback-wise, The Border is getting a paperback release. King of Shadows is getting a paperback release. And The Listener, which was originally published by Cemetery Dance, is getting a paperback release. So excellent opportunity to get some nice paperback McCammon for yourself. So this has artwork by Vincent Chong, I believe. Oh, apparently not. This cover artwork is by Elder Lemon Design, a.k.a. Keelan Patrick Burke. So Keelan Patrick Burke did the cover artwork for The Border here. As I mentioned, this was previously released through Subterranean Press. They did a limited edition, a lettered edition, and a trade hardcover edition, all with artwork by David Ho. But never got the paperback release. There's 2015 right there. And Brian James Freeman is stepping up to the plate to give the paperback treatment that every McCammon title deserves. That kind of sounds like an insult. Like, oh, he deserves a paperback. No, I mean, like, he deserves to be in print is what I mean. Hopefully you understood that. I have not read The Border. I do own the trade hardcover and the numbered edition from Subterranean Press. I know it is almost like a post-apocalyptic novel between two warring alien civilizations, and humanity kind of finds itself in between them. The main character is an amnesiac, Ethan, a boy who must overcome mistrust and suspicion to master unknowable powers, which just sounds awesome. And, now that I got a nice paperback version, I should give this one a read. I mean, I could have read the Subterranean Press edition, but, too many books, too little time, which is very much a problem these days. And if you're a subscriber to the channel, well, thank you for subscribing, but you probably can tell from my unboxings that I have too many books and too little time. So yeah, this is just the trade paperback. There's no interior illustrations in it. It's just, meat and potatoes, just the words themselves, but that is A-okay. Brian James Freeman did say that if you purchase the individual trade paperback, either through Lividian or through other publishers, or like even Amazon, for example, you may be getting a print-on-demand copy just because of the paper shortages. If you do not want to pay print-on-demand copy, which I would highly recommend you don't get a print-on-demand copy because the quality is going to be a little bit lesser for that, then you should go and buy the paperback bundle, which includes all three titles. That's The Border, King of Shadows, and The Listener. Three very different titles. I mean, you got your kind of post-apocalyptic aliens combating each other. King of Shadows is historical fiction / mystery, and then The Listener is a period crime story, but like Prohibition period, which involves a little bit of supernatural in terms of kind of not telekinesis, but telepathic, I guess would be the word. He's a listener. He's a titular listener. But yeah, that is a set which would normally set you back, I think, like $75. These are all gonna be like $25 pop. Yep, $24.99. But you can get all 3 for $50. And none of them are going to be print-on-demand titles, which is a plus in and of itself. Very, very excited to see what else is coming out of Lividian Publications. As I may have I know I've mentioned Gone South. They're also doing 7 Shades of Evil, which is a short story collection set in the Matthew Corbett universe, which will be coming out later this year. Plus, there is going to be another title in June, which has not been announced yet. I don't know anything about that one. Presumably it's not McCammon, because he got plenty of McCammon on the slate for this year already. And I don't think it's Joe Hill, because I think Joe Hill is going to be later this year, because Lividian is also publishing everything Joe Hill has done. They've already done 20th Century Ghosts, and oh my God, Heart-Shaped Box. Horns is up next, which I think is going to be in the fall or winter. Seriously, check out Lividian Publications. Check out Brian James Freeman's, that sounds weird saying it, his Patreon. You don't need to be a patron to buy from Lividian, but his patrons do get early access emails and sales. I recently, if you're watching this, I mean, it hasn't arrived yet, but I just purchased other publisher sampler pack, which I purchased a few of those in the past and absolutely loved them. So fingers crossed that I get some titles that are very nice surprises there. And I think those packs are sold out because the patrons get the early notice and the patrons buy it. And man, I mean, I've subscribed to some Patreons in the past that you kind of feel like you're getting ripped off. I have not felt that at all with Brian James Freeman's Patreon. Like, this is probably the best Patreon out there, at least the best one that I have personally seen. So seriously, go check out Robert McCammon. Check out Lividian Publications. You can pre-order a copy of this paperback as well as several other paperbacks. And if you want a signed copy, check out Alabama Booksmith. I mean, there might be other little sellers that might have signed copies as well, but Alabama Booksmith, Alabama being where Robert McCammon lives, usually carries a lot of signed McCammon titles, and that includes signed trade copies as well. So I presume, this is very much a presumption, that he will be signing some copies of The Border, The Listener, King of Shadows for Alabama Booksmith, and you can purchase it directly through them as well. They have a lot of great titles on their site, including a lot of rarer McCammon titles. I think they had Boy's Life, the slipcase edition that Subterranean Press did years back on their site. It's a little bit pricier, but hey, that is probably one of his best novels, if not his best, and you need a copy of that. Anyways, I'm rambling now. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you around next time.